Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, taking a break from the onslaught of new Dino Fury episodes and news to talk a little bit about some Lightning Collection news and rumors. There's been a solid handful of upcoming rumored figures and listings that we've gotten recently, and I wanted to discuss some of them. If I forget some of them, I apologize. I'm just going to kind of talk about the ones that I remember that I found most exciting because they're either exciting releases or they're kind of completing teams and stuff like that. So, starting with the figures, some of the rumored ones of, first of all, I guess Dino Fury. I believe it's almost like gold. It's green and red, but at least some Dino Fury, which is interesting. You know, I didn't think we would never get them because I think that, you know, they'll eventually get to most things, but I feel like the Beast Morphers one didn't do so well. I mean, even recently, I think I still see some Beast Morphers red and some Beast Morphers gold at some of my local stores. Like, Beast Morphers just didn't do that well. So I assumed if we got Dino Fury, we would get it farther down the road, so I'm a little bit surprised, but pleasantly, because I love the Dino Fury suits, and I'm excited by the potential of getting them, and it gives me a little bit more hope for some of them that are on the top of my list for Dino Fury, like the Void Knight suit and Max Resoul red. So that's happening. Apparently Beast Morphers yellow, which is really nice, because speaking of Beast Morphers not doing so well, it's been a while since we've dipped into Beast Morphers, and there's not that many to knock out. We just really have her, and then Silver, and, you know, if they wanted to, Roxy, which would be nice. But she would at least complete the core 3. We would still need to get a steel figure. I would still love, like, a J-suit steel figure. At the very least, I'm hoping that when we get Silver, he comes with the steel robot head and not the human head. But that's nice, so we'll at least be able to complete the core 3. Also, I believe Dino Thunder Yellow is rumored. That would also complete a core 3 team. Again, we would still need Dino Thunder Black, but that puts us one step closer, and it's always nice to be able to complete like the core team of 3 or 5 or whatever. Even if you don't have technically everybody, you do have a completion going there for that. I believe there were some Dino Charge ones as well, pink and blue, which I think would actually complete all core 6, which is nice. Another nice one to knock off there. Random weird one I just thought of was Red Eclipter, which is, I guess, an easy one because you just have to repaint it. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually do the Corrupt Eclipter, which I would kind of expect first, which maybe kind of want more. Like, I don't know. Red Eclipter just looks like someone changed him in Microsoft Paint, so I'm not that excited about that one. Apparently, we're going to start dipping in Wild Force as well, like, because we haven't done anything Wild Force yet with Red and Silver, which are, you know, ones that make sense to start with because they kind of started a lot of them with Reds in 6th, and, you know, Silver I think is more so my favorite suit, but Red's definitely up there, and I do really like the Wild Force suits in the series, so I'm excited about that. The only other one I can remember is Lost Galaxy Green, which would be another one, you know, for Lost Galaxy, and then all we would need is the 2 girls. That one excites me because, again, we're starting to complete teams, but also Green's always been my favorite helmet, and I think he's my favorite character of the core 5, so I'm actually quite looking forward to that one. Some other weird ones, not weird ones, but non-figure ones, are a dragon helmet, which I kind of assumed they would do that at some point, but that really excites me because I love the dragon suit. Anything comic is on the top of my list, so, you know, I assume we'd get more MMPR helmets, like, but after this, and since we just did pink, I also wouldn't mind a Ranger Slayer one down the road, but definitely excited for a Draken one. You know, I was kind of hoping for, like, maybe black next. I guess green would have made sense, but I like that Draken might be the next one. And then apparently a Lord Zed head, which I guess would be like a helmet release, but it's meant to be more like a display bust. It would be cool if it was wearable. It wouldn't make the most sense, but maybe it would be pretty cool. You know, people are probably like, oh, more MMPR, but if they're going to do any villain heads, it's going to be MMPR. Just don't do Rita because it'll look like a decapitation. It'll be creepy. But Zed's been getting a lot of attention recently, having returned in Dino Fury and having a major story arc in the comics currently. It makes sense, and it could potentially be something kind of neat. And then also apparently the Power Zord, which would be interesting to compare to the Lightning version, Legacy version. I always get those two mixed up. Why didn't they just give them different letters? The 2 L's confuse me. You should have called it the Pightning Collection, obviously, because get it? Power Ranger starts with a P and Lightning. What am I even saying? And then apparently we might finally be dipping into Megazords with the Dino Megazord, which, you know, gives me some mixed thoughts, not for really overly negative reasons, but I'm excited for us to finally, hopefully soon, start to dip into some Lightning Collection Megazords. If for no other reason than I'm really curious how they're going to turn out, but I was really impressed with the Dino Fury standard release recently, and if that is as good as it is, I'm really hoping that the Lightning Collection is even a step above that. So I'm really excited for us to start dipping into that because it'll mean more releases eventually, and I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. And I love me the Dino Megazord. Don't get me wrong, I love Daijujin's design, but I own that Megazord so many times. But I also acknowledge that it 100% makes sense to start with this. That's something I feel some Ranger fans need to understand and calibrate about. Like, don't get me wrong, again, I am sick of MMPR in a lot of ways, but it just, marketing-wise, it's what they have to do. They have to sell more than just our tiny little fandom. And I'm sure we'll get other stuff down the line. I mean, I know they would start with MMPR. I would have been 99% sure, no matter what, that we wouldn't start with something else random. But it would have been nice to maybe start with something, not Dino Megazord, only on a selfish reason, just because I own it so many times. But it 100% makes sense to start on it. But people are always like, why aren't they starting with Time Force? I'm like, because it would sell to like 5 people, because they got to sell to more than just us. So I am excited, though, that we will hopefully be dipping into that soon, and I'm hoping to hear about more Morphers soon. It's weird to me that the only other legacy Pitening Morpher we've gotten is the remake Pink. It's just weird. Like, how did they not do Tommies? I know we'd probably get the Tommy complainers coming out, but that would have been so much easier and weird to do. But you can hear me rant about that in that review. It just, every time I think about it, I'm like, but why? But that's about it for this one, guys. What do you think of the latest releases? I think there's a lot of cool stuff on the table here. A lot of this stuff, even though this is obviously, you know, leak rumor talking, not anything that they've announced. But this would have been cool stuff to bring up during Power Month. Even if some of this stuff isn't going to come out until 2022, this would have been cool stuff to do a Fan Friday about, to tease for Power Month. Especially stuff like the Zed helmet, or bust, or whatever it's going to be, and the Power Sword and stuff like that. But let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. It's Awesome Writer, signing out.